Welcome to Season 22, Season of the Witch, where Eris has just had enough of this and says, screw it, I'm turning into a hive to fight Xivu Arath myself. But there is a lot going on in this first week of the season, especially with all of the opaque cards that are available. It can be a little overwhelming. So let's go over everything you need to know to get started in Season 22. Before we begin, there is yet again no increase in the power or pinnacle cap, much like last season. You'll start with the intro mission, like you normally do, in addition to another mission that introduces you to Savathun's Spire, which is one of the two seasonal activities. After that, you'll have a cutscene that sets up the main premise of the season, which I just told you about at the start. Spoilers. Then, you'll be sent to Mission Invoke, which teaches you about Altars of Summoning, which is the other activity of the season. After that, you'll be introduced to the core concept of this season, which is the Deck of Whispers and opaque cards. Savathun's Spire is a three-person activity that has you climbing Savathun's Spire. Crazy, I know. In here, you'll be met with various combat challenges at the typical seasonal activity difficulty. Stand on plates, kill the enemies, although there are a couple of newer things that are taught to you during the intro mission, like punching arc crystals in order to charge them, moving solar crystals to a deposit area, and void crystals being in shields that you need to enter in order to destroy them. You're going to have a combat section, then a platforming section, switching back and forth until you're done. There are 2 secret chests as of week 1 in this activity. There may be more going into the future, there may not. Here is how to unlock both of the ones that we know of right now. Number 1. After the first combat section, look for this area as you start to climb up the spire. There will be 2 void and 1 solar hanging plates. They're going to be purple and orange. Watch along on screen for their exact locations. You need to shoot them with the respective element. Void on purple, you get it. After hitting all 3 here, a chest will spawn that can drop a red border weapon, along with materials that you will use in Altars of Summoning. Number 2. After the second combat section, after jumping through these hive portals, you will have 2 void and 2 solar panels to hit underneath these platforms. Same concept, shoot them, loot them. These will reset on, I assume, a weekly basis, so you don't need to do them all the time, but if they reset daily for whatever reason, then, I don't know, do them every day. You'll have 1 more combat section after that, and then you get loot, and if you have a Witch's Key, it will be consumed for more loot. Altars of Summoning is also a 3-person activity that sort of resembles Court of Oryx, where you have Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 offerings to offer. Tier 1 is the easiest, Tier 3 is the hardest, although there is a spot for another offering that is not currently active, so this may be something we use in the future, or maybe Savathun just really likes symmetry. The higher the tier, the faster you will fill Eris's tithing meter. Once you have given an offer to one of the statues, you'll start a combat sequence. This usually involves killing some amount of bosses in addition to handling some kind of mechanic. For example, stop the Vex from sacrificing, plant burdens of tributes on plates, kill abominations, punching or moving crystals or destroying crystals, and maybe 1 or 2 other things. These arenas are very enemy dense, especially on Tier 2 and Tier 3. Completing the event will give Eris some tithe meter, and once it is filled in, you get loot. However, this activity can go on for as long as you'd like, as the main altar at the start will reset. You're not booted to orbit upon completion, so you can join and leave as you'd like. Okay, so those are the activities. What about currencies? Easy stuff first. We have Witch's Keys. They work like the other keys that we have gotten this year. If you have one, you consume it when you pick up the final chest at the end of a seasonal activity, and you just get some bonus stuff. Next, we have the Feeble, aka Tier 1, Robust, aka Tier 2, and Powerful, aka Tier 3 offerings for Altars of Summoning. You use offers to activate a combat scenario in Altars. These drop from pretty much everywhere in the game after completing activities, and the season's armor bonus gives you a chance to make more. Next, we have the Opaque cards and the Deck of Whispers. Opaque cards can be major or minor cards called Arcana. Major Arcana go into the Deck of Whispers. Minor Arcana can be multiple things. They can be seasonal bonuses like Witchcrafting, which enables you to get a red border from the ritual table this season. They can be one-off items like a core or an exotic engram or a witch engram, stuff like that. Major Arcana can give multiple things, like bonuses during combat of seasonal activities, to opening up more bounties, to also giving some kind of seasonal bonus. I've gotten opaque cards from the Vanguard Ops playlist. I'm sure any core playlist is fine. They're in Season of the Witch activities. They're on certain destinations, challenges, etc. In fact, there's one card in the room where the Lectern of Divination is, aka the table that you interact with for the cards. It's behind this tree over here. Just right there. Just scoop that up. As of week 1, it appears we can only get 5 major arcana at this time, and more are going to open up in the future. However, getting a major arcana is not the end of that experience. The first few cards I've gotten have required additional work, like doing heroic public events, getting sword or melee kills in Altars of Summoning, and various other objectives. It is only after you complete these objectives that you actually unlock the card. Be sure to click the card or reward until the checkmark shows up. You have not claimed the reward until that checkmark shows up. So, once you have 5 cards, you will be able to build your deck of Whispers. Each major arcana has some kind of combat bonus attached to it. For example, Sisters is final blows have a chance to drop special ammo. The Witch is increases damage with each final blow, and so on and so forth for each bonus. You can have 5 cards active at a time. You'll activate and deactivate which ones you want in this area. The Anatheum. No, that's not. I forget how to say it.
Athenaeum.
You'll activate and deactivate which ones you want in this area, the Athenaeum. Yeah, I was right. In this area, the Athenaeum. During week 1, you don't have much of a choice. In the future, you will. When you participate in Season of the Witch seasonal activities, one of the 5 cards will activate at random in a combat situation, giving you some kind of a bonus. Each card has a little hint as to what it does at the top of the card, like Sisters being the special ammo icon. It might be tough to memorize all of the effects this early into the season, so just try to use that as a reference. Now let's talk about other key things that launched with the season. First up is how you can get rewards from the core playlists. Previously, you would be able to get 1 reward from Vanguard, 1 from Crucible, 1 from Gambit for a total of 3 per character. Now you can get all of your rewards from the same playlist if you want. You can run 2 in 1, you can run 3 of the same, doesn't matter. It's now your choice to play the thing that you actually prefer to play. Next up is the Exotic Mission Rotator. This consists of 3 exotic missions: Presage, Seraph Shield, and Vox Obscura. When you complete this mission, you will get that mission's exotic in craftable form. This first week is Presage, so that's Dead Man's Tale. Repeat runs will unlock more crafting options for that weapon. You can also get red border weapons from Season 17 in Presage, Season 19 weapons in Seraph Shield, and Season 16 weapons in Vox Obscura. The first run of the week will guarantee one. Next are timeline reflections. This is where you can play old missions from previous expansions, but they've been shortened up a little bit. Ikora will narrate over these missions to provide a bit more context to them. This is designed more for newer players or people who weren't really playing at the time. However, these missions can also drop red borders. The drop that you'll get is noted on the mission tab before you click on it. Next up are new strand aspects, and you're definitely going to want to get these. In order to get them, you'll need to talk to Nimbus real quick, who will send you over to Veil Containment, which, if you remember, is in the bottom left part of Neomuna, as I mentioned angrily in my season recap video. Listening to 1 Veil Containment, not even the full thing, will unlock the ability to pick up the aspect from the pond. In the tower, cosmetic rewards, stuff like Twitch rewards, Prime rewards, and whatever else there is, are now given out by a kiosk near the gunsmith. Neomuna red borders, in addition to the Throne World red borders, are now a bit easier to get. We have a new PvP map, Multiplex, in addition to the new mode Relic, which is in Crucible Labs. It's going to be Relic in Crucible Labs from weeks 1 to 4, and then it'll switch to a different new mode called Checkmate for about 6 weeks, and then back to Relic for the final weeks of the season. On day 1 of this season, the Vex Strike Force public event on Neomuna was appearing quite frequently, allowing players to get the new exotic armor very easily. All 3 new exotic armor pieces, 1 per class, are all gloves, every single one of them. So if the lost sector of the day is not gloves, be on the lookout for Vex Strike Force on Neomuna. If it is gloves, then I would try to get all 3 in the same day just to make sure that you actually get all of them and you don't forget. Material caps for things like Ascendant Shards, Alloy, and Enhancement Prisms were increased in your inventory, but you can no longer hold these items in the Postmaster. You can now level crafted weapons with Glimmer and Enhancement Cores. The initial levels are pretty cheap, but it will get gradually more expensive. This is a good way to unlock the base versions of perks on your guns, so that way you can level the gun at your leisure, or you can just level it to a higher level instantly, provided you have 43 cores to go from level 1 to 17, or 110 cores to go from 1 to 30 in case you really want the memento. You can now select shaders and ornaments to favorite, reset the fashion menu to see the shaders that you favorited, move to the front of the line. No, I do not know why the shader organization changed from what it was. Please fix this, Bungie. I missed the ordering a lot. Transmat effects are now no longer consumable after so long. They're just swappable. Feel free to swap as much as you would like. Finally, no, your loadouts are not reset because of Guardian ranks or anything like that. They are currently bugged, so Bungie has disabled them to prevent people's games from crashing. They will be re-enabled as soon as they can be fixed. I don't think there is much of a timeline for that at the moment. For now, save your new loadouts in Destiny Item Manager, which is a third-party extension. That is all for Season of the Witch. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.